grossly overweight yet good-hearted Professor Sherman Klump takes a special chemical that turns him into the slim but obnoxious Buddy Love. Hey guys, and welcome to one of my favorite movies growing up, and I genuinely mean this so much. Oh my gosh, this movie I watched so many times as a teenager, you have absolutely no idea. I'm not kidding you at all. So I'll back up a bit, guys. Welcome to my movie review for The Nutty Professor, the one that came out in 1996, starring Eddie Murphy. Now this is actually directed by Tom Shadyac, and the star of this is Eddie Murphy, and he played Sherman Klump, Buddy Love, Lance Perkins, Papa Klump, Mama Klump, Grandma Klump, and Ernie Klump. Seriously, he is every single one of those characters he plays. And it also has Jada Pinkett Smith as Carla Purdy. Now I say Jada Pinkett Smith because that's what she's known as now, because now she's married to Will Smith, but she wasn't back then. So this is actually a comedy, romance, sci-fi, and that's a weird thing to say about this movie, but we'll get into that. I'll explain that, why it's a sci-fi. And the duration of this film, guys, it actually goes for 1 hour and 35 minutes. And as I said, this movie I'm not joking in any way, shape or form. I cannot tell you how many times I saw this movie, and not in cinema. I didn't see this movie in cinema at all. And if I did, I don't remember it at all. But man, I watched this movie so many times. This is, in my personal opinion, every time I've quoted this movie throughout my youth, throughout my teenage years, throughout my young adult years, this movie, every time I watch it, cracks me up so bad. This is one of those movies, guys, that I just watch and I watch and I watch and I watch because to me, it's just that funny. Seriously, it's so brilliant, it's smart, it's clever, it's got beautiful moments in it, it's got heartwarming moments in it. Oh my gosh, if you have not seen The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy, I know I say treat yourselves when I talk about good films, but this is, in my opinion, this is one of the greats. This genuinely is one of the greats. I quote this movie I just have to say this movie so many times when I'm watching this because it's so funny. It's so on point. Some of the jokes just make me think that is such a brilliantly written joke because it's so clever, going back to just listening to them, like the fat jokes, and oh my gosh, there's just so much in this movie that just cracks me up so bad. It's just so brilliantly comically executed in every way, shape or form. This is one of those movie, guys, that when I grew up, I just couldn't believe, and being just the biggest movie fan that I am, I remember watching this and thinking to myself, how did they do that? How did they get him in the scene? And I still to this day I have no idea, but it's just something that blows my mind. And I love, especially the movie, I'll do a movie review on this one day because I love it as well so much. Multiplicity, that's another movie that just does my head in because it's so well done. So well done. Anyway, guys, I can't talk about this movie enough. I cannot talk about this movie enough. The Nutty Professor. This is a brilliant 100% must-watch comedy. Seriously. And this in my opinion has the most incredible rewatchability factor to it. Seriously, massive rewatchability to it, guys. Now, if anyone has been following me for any period of time, you know I love movie trivia. So here's some movie trivia for the Nutty Professor. Here you go. So it took approximately 3 hours each day to apply Eddie Murphy's makeup. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, 3 hours, that doesn't seem long. You have no idea. That's him sitting in a chair for 3 hours, the whole thing. And you know, some shoots take about a month to film. So that, oh my gosh, that would have taken ages. That's crazy. So this is actually the first Eddie Murphy movie to reach over $100 million in the box office in the 90s. That's how well this movie was received. The family scene was nearly cut out of the final film due to lack of relevance to the film's plot. Now, before I go on, guys, I need to tell you, two of my absolute favorite scenes, and I'm so glad that they added even more of these to the sequel, is actually the dinner table scene. Man, I was just rewatching it tonight. I was actually really intently listening and laughing so hard, but listening to the connecting dialogue. Now, you got to remember, guys, you got to just take a second and just think about this for a second. That's all Eddie Murphy. That's all Eddie Murphy doing different voices, and it's literally layered on top of each other. And so when he's he's in scene the whole time. So when someone is literally talking over the top of him, I don't even know how they do that. I think that is so incredibly, fascinatingly brilliant. But those are two of my favorite scenes of this whole entire movie, just because they're so well executed. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have you had a chance to see The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy? If you have, please leave a comment section in below. Let me tell me what you think. What did you think of The Nutty Professor? I'd really appreciate your feedback. Guys, if you have, thank you so much to all my subscribers. I really value it. I appreciate it so much. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. Please click the bell for notifications, and anytime I drop anything, it's yours straight away. I really appreciate that. Please give a thumbs up on this movie review. That gives me awesome feedback, knows that the content that I'm putting out, you guys really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. And until my next review, this is Superman Steve, flying